Hi Aquarius, welcome to your April 2018 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here, and I am going to be using the traditional Rider-Waite deck, and for the shadow position I am using the Wild Unknown Tarot because it's so creepy and kind of spooky, I know. So ooh, that's nice. Okay, so that's that card. So this is going to be the challenge position. So I'm going to do a creepy, crawly card here. Perfect. Creepy, crawly. The Hierophant. But this is going to be the challenge position. Perfect for Aquarius. Bucking the system. This is interesting. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh my goodness, see? Now this is kind of why I wanted to do this. I saw at least one other reader a long time ago. And she actually had two sets of, decks of cards, and she used a lot, She didn't just pull one card from another deck. And just for that specific purpose, because then you can get that synchronicity of picking the same card in another deck, which is kind of interesting. So it could be like a enhanced effect. So you have some wonderful cards. Wow. Maybe that solar eclipse is kicking in finally for you, your eclipse. So I'm just gathering the stray cards over here so I can begin. Okay, so the heart of the matter, gosh, for some reason I have to hold it with my left hand. So the heart of the matter is the Wheel of Fortune. So this is like the, the cycles of life. And I would say this is about coming into alignment for you. It's like all the pieces fitting together, being on the lucky streak, Aquarius, something along those lines. And maybe you felt like you were kind of out of alignment, that things were always happening that were not in your favor, and now things are kind of settling down and you're feeling just a lot better about life. Now, one thing that's interesting here, I don't know. I don't know if some of you have recently gotten married, because in late January, actually the last day of January, the first of two blue moons, January 31st, we had a lunar eclipse in Leo. And so this would be your 7th house of marriage. And you also have had, solar eclipse last summer in that same house. So for people that have, that Aquarians who have been married or have had long-term relationships, you may have had a lot of shakeups with that primary relationship in one way or the other. And so with the Wheel of Fortune, it's like things looking up, and things like that. Now, the challenge position is the Hierophant. So this can be a card of, in the challenge position, of kind of going against the societal conditioning and traditions and wanting to do things your own way. And this is certainly what Aquarius is all about. But what is connecting this? This is like the root cause of the situation is the 10 of Cups. This is like the happily ever after card, and this has to do with marriage. So I'm wondering exactly how bucking the system and happy marriage or something like that have in common. The first thing I would say is that perhaps this has something to do with deciding to break from tradition within maybe your family, what they wanted for you, and you know, since the Ten of Cups can relate to marriage, you may have decided that you don't have to conform to anybody else's standards. And yet, with the Hierophant in the challenge position, it may bring something on you. In other words, it can cause other people to react against you. And, you know, Aquarians like to be individuals. They don't want somebody to put them in a little box. But the consequences of that are sometimes that you are met with disapproval. Now, that doesn't mean that you really care about that. However, there can be this sense that you're doing something that other people that know you are kind of against. And it's like marrying someone who is different from you, from a different culture, a different racial background, perhaps, or a different religion. Actually, it would probably be more of a religious thing, because the Hierophant connects with, you know, you can see it in this card, the Pope, you know. But I mean, you know, somebody from that type of environment. And it's funny because, you know, the crow, it's like, how does that connect to the Pope, you know? But it's that's that deck. It's pretty interesting. And if this is a work environment situation, it can be that you really feel this sense, this need for being your own person. Maybe you were in some kind of corporate environment, and that did not work for you. And you feel this sense, maybe you started your own business and it's just taking off like wildfire, or just, you know, some other reason that luck has intervened and you're able to pursue your own passions without having to sell your soul. Actually, with the Ten of Cups, perhaps you've gotten married and that has helped your financial situation because you have a second person there, and so you can actually turn your back on a corporate position because you're able to be supported by somebody else for the time being, or maybe just because you're able to start your own business. You don't even have to be supported by somebody, but you're able to, you have their support in order to fall back on. But there's definitely, with the Ten of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune, there's a connection in your life right now with something very positive. And the Hierophant challenges the conventional thinking, but it's almost like thinking outside of the box. Other people may not approve, or, you know, the Hierophant, maybe you have to undo certain things that you were told about life. That's the other thing too. I would say that sense of limitation, I'd almost think of the Wheel of Fortune as the law of attraction. You know, that when you put something into your life that is positive and you believe, you're creating your future. And so, you know, the wheel, we talk about the wheel of birth and death, that's kind of like that Wheel of Fortune. And when you stay in the positive, it's amazing how many positive things can come back to you. And so you may be kind of like understanding that and undoing some of that conditioning that was placed. But it might still be a challenge. You might have some kind of feeling that you have to really deprogram yourself, like you were in a cult or something. The higher message is represented by the Eight of Wands. And this is about a lot of movement, sudden movement. And because you're a fixed sign, Aquarius, you may have felt like you were stagnating. And now all of a sudden, everything is just rocking and rolling, and things seem to be heating up. because they're wands. This is fire energy. So in the month of April, we have a lot of the month we have this Aries influence, and there's a new moon mid-month, and this is falling in your 3rd house of communications. And that might be a catalyst for a lot of messages coming in, because that's what the 8 of Wands can represent. But this is like a spiritual perspective, so it's kind of like showing you that when you put your effort into things by following your bliss, then the universe tends to mirror that, and then everything is going. And when you feel lethargic because you're stuck in a situation that does not reflect who you really are, then you feel that sense of the world, the universe, reflecting just a lack of progress, a lack of enthusiasm in life. In terms of any kind of romance, because when I said about the 10 of Cups, I mean, that's marital issues, but perhaps you're finding someone who finally is marriage material for you, and now everything is picking up, whereas before you might have been mired in, you know, some kind of dogma, some kind of messages that were less than positive about how life really is. And you may have felt like you were being forced to believe certain things that you just simply don't believe. And I shouldn't say forced, because a lot of times we just accept these things as fact. And then the more that we live life and the more we experience, we start to question those beliefs. But speaking of questioning those beliefs, and so here's what is in the future. Oh, you know, one thing that I didn't say, which I think I should have said, is that in the challenge position, the Hierophant can be a Taurus person, or somebody with a strong Taurian presence, where they have that kind of earthy and stubborn part to them, and they may be problematic in your life. So this character comes up again as somebody coming into play in the future. And so this may be about an impending marriage. Maybe you're planning a marriage, and you don't want to do it the way that your family wants you to do it. Maybe they're like, maybe you just want to elope, and you don't even want to have like the rigmarole of a big wedding. I was going to say a big fat Greek wedding, or something, you know, something very elaborate. You just want to be low-key. I could totally see an Aquarian eloping or having some kind of a far-out ceremony where everybody's naked or something like that. You know, very unusual type of a commitment ceremony. Maybe you don't even want to get married. You want to have a commitment ceremony instead. And you're being, you know, you have family who are pressuring you. The outcome is the 9 of Cups. See, you have these wonderful cards. 10 of Cups, 9 of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. Wonderful. And this is about wish fulfillment. So it looks like whatever is going on, that you will get what you want out of the situation. With the Hierophant in business, I mean, the Hierophant can be that corporate structure that you utilize for your benefit. So let's say that you want to leave that environment, but you have a lot of networks. You've done a lot of networking through your corporate job, and you have a product to sell, or you have consultations that you can give. You may decide to utilize that group or those people that you've met to benefit yourself, and you can get what you want. The 9 of Cups is a card that where you feel like you have everything that you have wanted, and this could be pertaining to a specific situation, and you even like, I mean, this could even be material benefits, even though this is cups and we usually think of the emotional side of life. But there's just such a, you know, the number 9 can sometimes be connected. I'm pretty sure it can be connected to Jupiter in this sense too. And Jupiter is, you know, that's the connected to the Wheel of Fortune. That's the planet connected to the Wheel of Fortune. So because it's supposed to be luck and expansion. And so that may be something. Let me see. You know, actually, well, you know, that's interesting, because Aquarius, speaking of Jupiter, you do have Jupiter. I think you have Jupiter in your 10th house. Scorpio's your 10th house, is it not? So it could be some, you know, we have a Jupiter retrograde. So maybe some opportunity that was a career opportunity that you thought had slipped through your hands will come back. And maybe that's what this is. It comes back to you, you know, that cycle. Because when Jupiter is retrograding, you can experience opportunities that you missed the first time around. So, that might be what's going on. And that's why I got that card. But it looks really good. Okay, Aquarius, I hope you liked this. And if you would like a private reading, please visit my website. The link is below, rainandmoonastrology.com. Take care. Bye.